You just have to accept the fact that the dangers of my heart is going to give you diabetes. If it hasn't already, episode 17 says here, hold my beer, we're gonna get to this. This is pretty much the most unofficial, official relationship you could ask for in this show. Even if they're dozens of episodes away from actually confessing to each other, they have a relationship all but in name. They go on cute little lunch dates, they go on their movie dates, and then just the fact that she invites him to her job, which we learn from the guardian that she's been with for about 4 years at this agency, apparently. The fact that she talks about him as you're her pride and joy, ignoring the issue about how if they get into a relationship, it'll hinder her work. I don't care about that bullshit at all. You're her pride and joy. Boy. This show is too sweet. I have a full live reaction to today's wonderful Dangers in My Heart episode over on my Patreon. If you want to see my full uncut thoughts as we watch today's episode, it's over there if you're interested. My heart, man, it melts. It continues to melt. I laugh at the insanity. I think at this point, maybe the only way they fully confess their feelings is if you have Yamada's one friend, you have Ichikawa's sister, each grab one of them and push them together for a big old smooch. Because at this point, I don't even know. I still feel like Yamada's gonna be the one to do the confessing, but at the same time, our boy's showing enough gumption recently, but at the same time, think about the ticket situation. She brings up the ticket, wanting him to ask her to go with him, but had she not done that, they never would have done the situation either, so it's like, I don't know. It's like 51% Yamada, 49% Ichikawa on who's gonna confess to who first, I don't know. But everything about this, man, it's so sweet. It's like, I love how there's these little moves that continue to propel. It's not a snowball effect in the way that once one move's made, it just keeps tumbling into a big explosion of love. No, we have so many little moments where I think the best example is the very end of this episode where he calls her pretty. So he snuck one picture in and showed her, and she's like, oh, why wouldn't you, at least tell me so I could look good for the camera. Women and thinking they don't look good in pictures unless they're ready or they take them will always be the bane of my existence. But the fact that he just so seamlessly is like, what are you talking about? You look so pretty. He wasn't even really embarrassed in the moment. He just naturally blurred that out. And she was just squeeing. She's going to be on cloud 9 until the next morning. That's how much that impressed her. But it's all the little moments. Yeah, there's a potential of a little bit of drama. The fact that he drags her back to the job when she's pretty much talking about how she always feels like she's inadequate, she's insecure about it, that there's always better and prettier people out there, but the reason she's stuck with this job is because of what he said. So the fact that he drags her saying of her just going back to being a normal schoolgirl, no, she's special and that was part of the charm. So he brings her back and then we get the whole drama, potential drama about how, hey, you're a real good kid, but with your relationship, it could hinder, the stage in her life where she's going to be very successful. And he's like, listen, dog, I'm just a friend. I just respect her. I mean, no drama is actually going to keep them apart. It's not a matter of will they get together. It's a matter of when they will get together. I still have no idea. I'm still going to say maybe White Day, but I still have no idea. They could literally pull an Attack on Titan with the Armor and Colossal Titan reveal, and it happens super abruptly, randomly, in the most nonchalant way, or it could be some dramatic romance thing. I have no idea. But between the whole ticket exchange, she's very clingy now, more so than usual, and I love that about Yamada. I constantly will say this, and I'll probably always say it whenever there's moments like these. The way she just is so much more grabby, not in a way that she's invasive of his personal space, but more so she's a lot more clingy, she's a lot more forward, and in doing so, it gives him more confidence to also say and do a lot more. There's a moment at the movie theater after they're done watching the romance movie, right? She's super apologetic. Oh, this is probably not much of your movie and I'm just talking about all the things I enjoy. This must just be a shitty situation for you, right? She says it a lot more politely, but that's kind of how blunt she was. And he has this big speech in his head about how he just really likes getting to know her and this, that, and the third. And while what he says out loud isn't as romantic as what he thinks in his head, he still puts it as I like being with you. It's I like learning about what you enjoy. That stuff matters to me. And it puts her on cloud 9. Not as much as the you're pretty line, but it's those moments. With her being a lot more forward with her physical attention and her attraction towards him, it gives him the confidence to start speaking his mind more and not feel like a turtle trapped in a shell like he started the show off at. And between the amazing little lunch date, which she got 3 out of the 4, I mean, Of course she did. It's Yamada. She has the stomach of the size of a pit. I mean, she had that giant Yamada-sized popcorn. She had lunch. Hell, she probably had a whole goddamn turkey on her way home, and somehow it just all burns away. Her metabolism is built different. But the fact that the sister is just like, listen, bro, you shouldn't go in these types of clothes, and then the fact that when he goes to see her at work, he wakes the sister up being like, is this drip okay? Personally, I thought the drip didn't really match his look, but the fact that he's not as edgy looking as he used to be is definitely progress either way. Everything about this show is diabetes. It's diabetes in anime form. Get your insulin shots because that's what you need when watching a show like this. I honestly think Yamada probably has the most impressive voice in this show. Like, all the voice actors do their job, and they do their job very, very well. But I don't know what it is. Yamada's VA is just so good at what she does. She doesn't capture this typical anime love interest energy. She has this adorable, sweet, nurturing side, but then she just has like an element of chaos to her without being overpowering. She's just so sweet. Like when her VA's like clearly like munching on something in the recording booth because she has her mouth full in the anime, it's just like, it's so perfect, and you just want to see these two succeed. Like, that's how it makes you feel. The production is so good. It either matches season 1 or at multiple points, I feel like sometimes the directing is actually a little more impressive. There's been a couple of times in previous episodes where I thought Yamada's character model was a little off character model, like, I don't know, like her proportions were a little weird. But in general, I think this season matches the quality of the first season, but also there's these moments like the grabbing of the hand and running towards, or just like some of the romantic build-up moments. They're just so powerful, and it feels like they actually surpass some of the most romantic and captivating moments of the first season or the first core. This is great. Like, this is kind of like their first official date without it being called a date. Like, they've done plenty of things together, but at the same time, this felt like the most coupley date things they did. Dinner, movie, and then you go see her at work and you learn that she talks about you being her pride and joy. It's like, boy, all you need to do is take the shot, and I can't wait until you do. It just honestly also feels good that, like, I don't feel like there's anyone who can actually get in the way of these two. Like, if you look at last week with how she dragged your boy away from, what's his name, Fucko, who, I don't know, just was a douchebag, but the fact that she's like, no, I have no interest in you, I only have interest in my boy Ichikawa. The sister, the friends, they're all just rooting for them, and just, it feels good. Like, the drama's there, but not in an overpowering way, which you can't say a lot with a show like these, especially with characters as young as them. Everything's trying to implode on them, but they're actually navigating the minefield pretty well. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode of Dangers of My Heart. We're so close yet so far away. Let me know your feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we have Phoenix Jackson, Pedro Moria, Francis Mahenda, Brendan M. Gibson, Jake Smith, and Jackson Smith. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.